This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Wednesday, May 6th. Mostly cloudy this morning with a few passing showers. The sun will peek through this afternoon, and it will be significantly cooler today with a high of just 65. A few clouds will stick around until the evening with a low of 56. Here are today's headlines. A former FedEx driver was sentenced to death Tuesday for abducting and killing 7-year-old Athena Strand after delivering a package of Barbie dolls to her Wise County home. 34-year-old Tanner Horner did not react as his sentence was read aloud by State District Judge George Gallagher for the November 2022 kidnapping and murder. The decision came after nearly 3 hours of deliberations and weeks of grueling testimony. In the front row of the courtroom in downtown Fort Worth, Athena's mother, Maitland Gandy, cried softly after hearing the verdict. Athena's younger sister sat on her mother's lap and embraced her. Their family and friends wore shades of pink, Athena's favorite color. The prosecution pushed for the strongest punishment in their closing arguments, while defense attorneys Susan Anderson and Stephen Goebel asked the panel to instead give Horner a sentence of life in prison without parole. The defense team argued that prosecutors failed to prove Horner would pose a future danger while in prison. Their case hinged on convincing the jury Horner's troubled upbringing and mental health problems provided enough mitigating circumstances to rule out a death sentence. In other news, Dallas City Council members are pushing back after Mayor Eric Johnson blasted them for approving bloated budgets, saying he has yet to offer specific solutions for rising costs and a $33 million shortfall. Several council members said closing the current gap will require trade-offs across services, staffing, and spending. Everyone agrees the city needs to live within its means, council member Laura Cadena said, but the mayor has offered no cuts of his own in what she described as an already bare-bones budget, adding, "It's easy to write a bunch of fiscal statements with zero plan to back it up. Here in Texas, we call that all hat and no cattle." Councilmember Adam Bazaldua said he hoped the mayor is just as enthusiastic about reducing what he called an unnecessary expansion of his security detail. The mayor is often accompanied by at least 2 security officers. The exchange reflects a growing rift between the mayor and the council as budget pressures mount. Next up, Dell, one of the largest Fortune 500 companies headquartered in Texas, announced its intention to reincorporate in Texas from Delaware late Monday. This time, the motion is likely to actually pass a shareholder vote. In a memo to shareholders filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the company said its board of directors unanimously approved moving Dell's corporate charter to Texas to be voted on at Dell's annual shareholder meeting on June 25th. Reincorporation is a process by which companies move their corporate charter from one state to another, therefore becoming subject to a different corporate law framework. Delaware, because of its preeminent chancery court, has led the nation in corporate law for a century. But Texas and Governor Greg Abbott are endeavoring to challenge Delaware with the new Texas Business Court and a suite of legislation to give it a head start. Dexit is the name given to the burgeoning movement out of Delaware after a controversial ruling in Delaware against Tesla set off the wave. And one of Dallas's most celebrated soul food restaurants is headed to New York's Times Square. Kitchen and Kocktails will open a location in New York City this summer. Owned by Kevin Kelly, Kitchen and Kocktails opened its first location in August 2020 on Elm Street in downtown Dallas. Kelly described it as an elevated comfort food restaurant, and menu items include shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, jerk lamb chops, and fried chicken. Sides are candied yams, mac and cheese, and collard greens. The restaurant has 6 other locations across the country. The one in New York will add to that number, as well as another location in Boston, also set to open this summer. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.